So Cloverfield is a movie that came out back in 2008 and had a campaign leading up to its release that garnered major attention. The trailers only showed glimpses of the destruction of New York, but never showed the monster itself, so fans obviously went wild with speculation on a number of different forums. After the movie came out, the hype obviously died and fans looked on to other new movies to have fun with. But one thing remained after the movie came out. See, in the story we follow a group of New Yorkers as they try to escape the city. During this time, the Cloverfield monster makes several appearances as it is destroying buildings everywhere. Some fans have asserted that there are some discrepancies in some of the monster's features between these appearances, and thus the theory that there are two main monsters in the movie was born. Story-wise, there may be some credence to this theory. The creature designer Neville Page has stated that the monster is a baby in a new environment, scared and looking for its mother. Many on various forums also mention that in their two monster theory, one is the mother and the other is an adolescent that is not fully grown. Now, to determine whether or not this theory is true, we are going to look at the evidence various fans have presented and analyze it. Firstly, we will analyze the mouth. The mouth is different in different scenes. More specifically, that the two massive teeth connected to the lower jaw in the last scene is not present in other sightings. Firstly, we have this scene right before the main characters enter the subway. Now, it may look like the two lower teeth are not present when watching this brief appearance, but in this scene the design is actually consistent. One just has to look at the appearance at a slower pace or pause it. If one pauses the clip just as the Cloverfield's mouth is opening, we see that these two lower teeth are clearly visible. It may be that they retract a bit when the monster's mouth is fully open, as we see here. The second clip is from just before they enter the helicopter at the end of the movie. It is also pretty much from the exact same angle. This is the main scene in which I've seen people claim that the mouth is obviously different looking. It is actually not the case here either. The exact same thing as before is true. Just as the monster is opening its mouth, we see the two lower fangs. As the monster's head bumps into the building, its mouth closes and we see the fangs again. For anyone who thinks that these pictures and shots are too dark and too gloomy and that the fangs can't be seen, well, I have an additional piece of evidence to show. You see, the visual effects and animations company Tippett Studio released a video where it shows some of the monster scenes through different filters of pre-production. Here we see the monster from a different angle where it shows the fangs. So we can now conclude that the theory of the monster's face looking different in different scenes is false and has not proven that there are two monsters. Next up is the tail. Some people have claimed that, just like with the face, the tail looks different in the appearances of the monster. I'm just going to cut to the chase with this one. Yes, in some scenes it is a bit hard to see, but the tail does look exactly the same in all appearances. It is mainly the bridge scene where it can be a bit hard to see, but we can make out that the tail is straight and that there is a flatness to it. In the scene we showed before, where it bumps its head into the building, we see the tail clearly if we pause. There's also a flatness to it in this shot, and one can see that at the tip it looks like a clover. Hey, maybe that's why the movie is called Cloverfield. In this clip, when the monster is viewed from the helicopter, we see the tail quite clearly. Now, while I cannot really see the tip here, we can still see that the tail as a whole is fairly flat here too. In this scene during the morning, just as the monster appears, we can see the tail here briefly too. It's still flat. I think we can now safely conclude that the tail theory is also false. Now, interestingly, on the bridge scene it is claimed that we see two monsters in the same scene briefly. I have a link in the description to the video where this is claimed. We here see the tail of the supposed first monster break the bridge, and as the bridge is falling, we supposedly catch a glimpse of the second monster. It is shown here.
Now watch closely.
Now the reason this footage is in such low resolution is because this is the clip I took from the video where it is claimed that this is a monster. Firstly, he claims that something is moving up, but it is really just the helicopter lights quickly moving up that causes the illusion that the thing it is shining at is also moving up. And unfortunately, it is just low resolution of this clip that makes it look somewhat as something that is alive. If we look at a high resolution version of this scene, we see that it is just the bridge breaking apart. Now, apart from these three main examples of evidence, some claim that the arms displaying under the belly of the creature is different in shots as well, and that the sounds the creature makes is also different in certain scenes. From what I've seen, the arms are always present on the creature and looks the same in all shots where they can be seen. The sounds that the creature makes also does not have to be the same. The sounds it makes while just stomping its way through New York is likely to have some difference to the sound it makes when missiles are being shot at it. Now, while the theory of two monsters is certainly an interesting one that caught my attention for quite a while, I have to follow the evidence. Evidence that very clearly disproves the theory that there are two monsters. If you disagree or know something that I missed, let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. For now, adios.